So if my voice is audible to everyone, could you all give a thumbs up? Yeah. So my voice is audible to everybody then. Great. So since we're at the last, class, I would like to, start it right away. And, I would just ask one question. You guys can answer it in text or you can unmute and answer me. Okay. So has anybody had issues with aptitude? Right? Anybody has any problem with uh, being stuck in aptitude round, or is there anything that is challenging for you with respect to aptitude? So can I help you guys with verbal or logical or quant if you guys have any questions that way? So how many of you have attended aptitude placement? I mean aptitude round before. Give me a thumbs up if you have attended aptitude questions before. I see a lot of them. Oh, that means everybody has attempted aptitude rounds. During the GATE exam preparation, you had a lot of problems for reasoning. Yes, I think reasoning, requires a little attention, which everybody forget to pay attention to, right? So it definitely requires some time. So we'll discuss something about aptitude, then we'll go ahead and start away. Okay. So with that being, what is aptitude? Okay, so we'll just play a small video. Just let me know if the thing is audible.
Hi everyone, it's Yanis here, and in this video
Is it audible? If it's audible, give a thumbs up. If it is not, let me know.
What is aptitude? You might be born with natural talents and abilities, but that doesn't mean that you will not have to put in the work and effort to get the best results. If this is your first time on this channel, then make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get updates on my latest videos about time management and productivity. Aptitude is a natural ability to learn and excel in a certain area. These can be called your natural strengths. For example, if you have physical aptitude, then you'll find it easier to pick up different sports activities and exercise. In general, it's a good idea to utilize your strengths when choosing your career path, as that will enable you to perform at your best. There are different types of aptitudes that people generally have, so let's take a look at some of them. First, linguistic aptitude is the ability to learn a foreign language with ease. If you have this aptitude, you'll find it easy to learn the structure of a new language and memorize words and sentences. Second, STEM aptitude. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. If you have an aptitude in STEM field, you may find that you excel in solving mathematical problems. Third, artistic aptitude is the ability to create a work that is pleasing to see and hear. If you have this aptitude, you're probably a visual learner and enjoy finding ways to be creative. Fourth, mechanical aptitude. With this aptitude, you most likely know how parts of the machine work together, and you enjoy building, taking apart, or fixing things. Fifth, organizational aptitude involves your ability to organize and operate efficiently. With this aptitude, you may find it pleasing to organize and prioritize tasks and data. There are also tests available online that you can take in order to find out your strengths, and that might help you to choose your career path. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I was able to give you a quick summary of what aptitude is and why it's important to focus on your strengths. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could press the like button, as this will help the video reach more people. And
so yeah, so everybody has a fair idea, and you guys already know what aptitude is. So the intro for the people who did not know was a little explanatory, so which is good. Shabina says the company gave aptitude in different format, like sometimes MCQ, sometimes question and answer. It is difficult to prepare, which would be asked in aptitude. See, the thing is, MCQs, multiple choice questions, the answers will always be in that format, but that doesn't mean that the questions should be easy. The questions can still be confusing, the questions can be difficult, while you're preparing for aptitude, it is not the closest answer you choose would be the right, or whatever you feel like this answer feels right according. No, you should be able to solve the entire question, even if it is in the format of question and answer, even it is descriptive. Let us say the MCQ carries only 1 mark, but to write and prepare for it, it might cost you 10 to 20 marks of writing to get that answer. So keep it in mind that okay, aptitude is something that I cannot simply choose by luck, but can work, confirm, and then only give the right answer. Because if you think like that, the options can be so tricky in such a way that whatever feels right to you, whatever comes to your mind for the first thing, that will definitely, can be tricky in the options. Because sometimes the options are like that, right? So like I said, there is different kinds of aptitude: verbal aptitude, quantitative, logical, reasoning is mainly to do with problem solving. Reasoning is about communication also, because how well you communicate and understand the question, that is when you'll be able to solve a good reasoning answer, right? So let's go ahead and find out. There are actually other different types also apart from verbal, logical, and quantitative, right? There's numerical reasoning, where you'll have to find series of a number. Verbal reasoning is when you have to do it with something related to grammar or a series, right? And general aptitude test, where you would get any general quant and your core tech based aptitude. Spatial reasoning is something that has to do with spaces and 3D objects and shapes and sizes. Psychometric test is nothing but it has to do with your personality. Okay. Abstract reasoning is again finding the patterns. That is the kind of series. So this is the kind of aptitude. We'll do example of each so that we get a quick info about this, right? Verbal reasoning, right? It requires great deal of practice, because you cannot say, oh, I speak English regularly, so I think I'll be able to tell it. No, but you need to understand the nuances, the intricacies, and the details of how a sentence works, of how a correct sentence is made. Well, and you need to, have a good vocabulary, because in vocabulary, 1 or 2 marks question will come. So you need to find out how well you communicate. So these are some of the basic tests that people would expect you to pass. So practice a lot of question papers. You can practice them in India Bix Online, right? So there's this website called India Bix Online, INDIABIXONLINE, right? BIX, India Bix. So if you search that, you'll find years together of all the GATE, SAT, CAT, and even sample question papers, right? So make sure you practice them. Now, for example, see, the main skills here that is required is reading, comprehension, and analytical skills. Reading, comprehension means understanding a paragraph, understanding a passage. That is the meaning of comprehension skills. And analytical is trying to analyze, connect the dots, trying to understand the question better, trying to understand what answer seems the most perfect, right? A sentence which follows rules, things like that, right? Now, statement 1 and 2, right? So here there are two statements in the question. Is everybody able to see this slide? Can you give me a thumbs up? Are you guys with me? Can we start solving different kinds of aptitude so that you all are, ready? I want everybody to be ready. Do not, get distracted. Pay attention here, right? So if you're using phone in the background, don't use it, because this requires a little attention. This cannot be learned in the background. So pay attention here. There are two statements. Standard of living among the middle class society is constantly going up since few years. I'll repeat. Standard of living among the middle class society is constantly going up since a few years. Means, what did we understand in this sentence? Like the standard of living, like the price, or how much time, how much price it takes to live in a city, right? So the middle class rates, the people being in middle class, that price is going up, right? Whether it is your savings, whether it is your expenses, whether it is trying to live, how much it costs to live as a middle class person, that cost is going up, not the number of middle class people. Everybody understood that. The second thing is Indian economy is observing remarkable growth. So the Indian economy, right? So overall, right? So this is one of the things in Indian economy. A lot of things are there. So Indian economy is also growing up, and it's having a remarkable growth since before. This is the meaning. Now many people, what they do is they skip through sentences. They'll be in a hurry. They don't read the sentences properly, because I can understand anything if I'm in a hurry. Standard of living among the middle class society is constantly going up. If you read it in first glance, you will think, okay, middle class people are getting, more and more. But the thing is, that is not the exact meaning. The exact meaning is standard of living for the middle class people. That is growing up. That is getting higher. That is the meaning, right? So here, what is the answer, right? That is something now you have to analyze the reasoning. You will get better at this when you start communicating well, when you start understanding the sentences properly, and when you speak English on the regular basis, or at least make a habit. Okay, so that is where this will be easier for you. Now let's talk about the options. Statement 1 is the cause and statement 2 is its effect. Now this is a cause and reasoning test. What is the source of the cause, and what is the reasoning? So this is a verbal reasoning question. Okay, option A says statement 1 is the cause and statement 2 is its effect, right? That is one option. Okay, statement 1 is the reason, reason, and statement 2 is the affect, what I mean, like the result of the statement 1. That is what they're saying in statement A. Now let us check statement B. Statement 2 is the cause and statement 1 is its effect. Now this might make sense, so, or it might not. So let us judge with other options also. Here what they're telling, the reason, the cause of the statement for 1 is 2. That is what they're telling. Statement 2 is the cause and statement 1 is its effect. That is one option. Third option, both the statements 1 and 2 are independent causes. So they are independent sources, independent causes. So these things cannot be compared, is what option C is telling. Option D is telling both the statements 1 and 2 are effects of an independent cause. So this seems to be like an effect statements. Both of them, they are not causes, it's telling. Now option E is telling both the statements 1 and 2 are effects. Excuse me, somebody talking. Ajay, is everything okay? Do you have any questions, Ajay? Ajay Arutla, are you here? Can you mute? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So the fifth option is both the statements 1 and 2 are effects of a common cause. So now fifth statement is telling both the statements 1 and 2 are effects of one single common cause, which may or may not be mentioned here. Now, if you observe, right, since the standard of living, right, among the middle class society is constantly going up, Indian economy is only observing some growth because of it, right? Since cost of living is becoming higher, so Indian economy is getting boosted because more expenditure is happening because of this. So hence, statement 2 is the effect of statement 1. Everybody agrees? Yes or no? So which is the option which is right? Option A, B, C, or D, or E? Which is the right option? Can everybody start guessing? I think I've already given the answer. Option A, option B, option C, option D, or option E? Bharat is telling option B. What about others? Okay, Karan Singh is also telling it is option B. What about, why is everybody telling B? Why not the other options? No, I think everybody has misunderstood the question. People who are saying B, it is the wrong answer. I'm telling you, statement B is the effect of statement 1. I already told what the answer is. Statement 2 is the effect of statement 1. I literally told the answer. You guys don't pay attention. Simply blindly everybody will say B. Just because I said statement A and B. How can you guys get so confused and distracted very easily like this? This is the reason why you guys did not get right marks in aptitude. It is because you guys lack patience. So when most of you guys said B, you said B because I said statement B is the effect of statement A. So if you guys let small things like this confuse you, obviously you would not be very good at reasoning because you don't have patience to understand what everybody is saying properly. Option A is the right answer. Option A is the right answer because statement 2 is the effect of statement 1, right? So statement 1 is the cause, statement 2 is the effect. So option A, statement 1 is the cause and statement 2 is the effect. The right answer. People who said option A, you guys are right. Okay. The verbal aptitude. Which one letter can be moved from the first word to the second word to create two new words? I repeat, which one letter can be moved from first word to the second word to create two new words? Okay. Option A T, option A N, option C V, option D E. Option B, N, is what Samuel and Fahad is telling. What about others? I think it's option B, which is N, Steve and even. Simple. So there are some easy questions like this also in verbal. Okay. So we will do one more. Okay. Which one letter can be moved from second word to the first word to create new words? So one word has to go from second word to the first word. Which one is that? This should be even faster and simple. Okay, many people are telling option D, which is R. What word will be formed? Can you guys type that instead of just options? Yes. String and cramp. Camp. Sorry. Yes. Now it's a word grid. Okay, let's play another different verbal aptitude. Listen up. Start at one corner and move clockwise around the square, the center finishing the center to create a 9-letter word. Means it starts from the first box. It starts from here, goes like this, comes down, goes left, goes up and take right to the center. So can you guys create a word like that? Dash MIDS dash, sorry, da. I'll put the word for simple understanding. Dash MI dash A Hold on. Dash MI dash A C dash D S. So this is the word. Okay, it is in clockwise. It goes like this. So dash is the word where you need to fill letters. So can you guys try to form a word out of this? What word can you form with this missing letters? It's basically missing letters and you need to find a word. Let's see who will be able to get this word. It is a 9-letter word. 3 letters are missing. Remember how a clock goes? Same way I've written it down for you all. What is the word? Why nobody isn't getting this? Nobody knows the word? Mr. Karan Singh Solanki, who used ChatGPT, you've added the question in reverse. First statement was before. Remarkable growth in economy will come second. You interchange the question. That's why you're getting wrong answer. It's not option B. So you're starting from the bottom. Okay, it's actually from the bottom. Sorry, I misread clockwise to anti-clockwise. I guess it was some inner dyslexia. It's basically the other way around. It's actually academics. AC ACADIMIC. So it is this way around. My bad, guys. Sorry, this is wrong. What I said, it was actually the other way around. Sorry, I got confused with the academics part. But yeah, it is academics from the left, from the bottom left to the center, right? So you guys were right about it. Okay. Yes. So you guys need one more of that. Okay. So let me try to, find a new one and give it to you all. Okay, so let me give it to you. Okay, so I'll give you guys in the chat section. Okay. Okay, so I've given one. So just try to, solve that. I'll give you one more. So the dash is the missing letter. For your understanding, I'll try to keep more space so that you guys will be able to answer it better. So are you all able to guess this? Yeah, why nobody was able to guess it? Can I have any answers? Not retire, not interretry. Just fill in the missing letters there. Whoa, who is me to 108, meet 108, 1028? Who is meet 1028? Meet. Meet got it right. Meet, what is your name? Why have you not given your name there? Is that your name, Meet? Okay, yes. So Meet got it right. Meet, which college are you from? So Meet got it right. The right answer is interfere. Right? So the missing letters are INTERFERE. Okay, so you guys want one last? I'll give you guys one last missing letters. Are you guys ready? Can you guys give a thumbs up? Okay, so the last missing letters challenge is this one. So this is should be easy because 3 letters are missing. So let's try to do this. Verbal aptitude comes with practice. When you guys practice more, you'll be able to recognize patterns more. So yes, the right answer is complexity. Yes. So understand, if you guys need to improve your verbal aptitude or logical aptitude or reasoning, any of the aptitude, all it requires is practice. So the more you practice, you'll be able to, your brain muscles will be able to recognize patterns. So this comes only with practice. For the people who are not, you finding it hard, you need to practice more and more aptitude. For some people, they'll be able to get it faster because their divergence in brain is like that. But in case if you're not getting, that means, for you might need more practice, right? Some people get it naturally, some people get it with practice, some people get it with familiarity. But in case if you're struggling, that means you need to learn a little more, practice a little more. Okay, so yes, So let us check out, one logical reasoning part. Question one. Rama is planning a special birthday dinner for her husband's 35th birthday. Okay, so she's planning a birthday dinner for her husband's 35th birthday. She wants the evening to be memorable, but her husband is a simple man who would rather be in jeans at a cricket game than in a suit at a fancy restaurant. Which restaurant below should Rama choose? Right? So her husband, likes to be in jeans for a cricket game rather than a suit in a fancy restaurant. So which restaurant below should Rama choose? Option A, Alfredo's. Okay. Alfredo's offers fine Italian cuisine and an elegant decor. Patrons will feel as though they've spent the evening in a luxurious Italian villa. That is option A. Option B, Rajdhani's Rajasthani buffet. It's an all you can eat family style with the best Rajasthani food in town. Option C, the Taj. It's a four-star restaurant where the guests are treated like royalty. Right? Chef Dilbar is famous for his butter chicken. That is where he's going. Option D, Power Place serves delicious, hearty meals in a charming set of a cricket clubhouse in honor of the owner, Sachin Tendulkar, a former cricket captain. So where does she give the birthday treat for her husband? Where will she plan the dinner? Option A, B, C, or D? I think it's pretty easy and very simple, this one. Everybody knows, right? Sometimes there will be difficulty level in this questions also. So please be ready for it. Now the next one. Okay. Now next one, we'll just check it out. Okay. You arrived at work this morning to discover that everyone in your workplace except yourself has received a new office chair. What are you going to do in this situation? Okay. Situation judgment. You arrived at work this morning. So you discover that everybody has got a new office chair. What are you going to do? Okay. Now this is a step-by-step method that you guys need to analyze, right? So what should be the right answer for this one? Okay. Just think about it. How will you answer? Please choose one of the choices indicating the most and the least effective. Okay. So which is the most effective option? 1. Which is the least effective option? 2. Okay. These are the options for you. I think here everybody is going with the option 2. What option 2? What did I ask? Please choose the best choice and the worst choice. So should I consider 2 as the best choice or the worst choice? What do you gain? Take a chair from one of your colleagues is one of the most bizarre things that you can do. Right? Quit your work. Oh, that's even more bizarre. Complain to HR about your unjust treatment. Very quick. Let's see. Most likely option that everybody think is 2 is the, like speak to your boss and inquire why you haven't gotten a chair yet. Least likely is, of course, quit your work, right? Some people told this 3. I know it is a bizarre option, like take somebody's chair. It's a really funny one, but quitting your work is even more bizarre. Like, imagine quitting your work based on somebody did not give you a new chair, right? So, of course, the right option is 2 and 5, most likely and least likely scenarios. Okay, again, this is an easy one, right? So, they might give you a difficult one, but please do practice. Okay. So for this one, I want everybody to take a quick screenshot. These are the best aptitude preparation sites. They'll give you with explanation on how to do it. In case if you even like out of 10 questions, maybe one question if you may not feel the answer satisfying, you can copy paste that question in Google or on YouTube and get the best explanation for it, right? So these are some of the sites. So did everybody take a screenshot of this one so that you guys can find practice parts for your aptitude? If you have taken a screenshot, can you guys give a quick thumbs up? Let me try to uh, give you the links. Yeah, so I'll give you the links. I will paste it here in the chat for your info. Okay, so this is the chat link. Okay, in the chat I have given you the links, so please make the best use of this. Correct? So everybody got the link, I believe. So this is something about aptitude, right? See, understand aptitude tests are the very basic entry level tests, but for that a strong preparation is required. So you need to have good knowledge on quant, logic and verbal reasoning. So go to India because I had studied from India because I had so many options, so many question papers, and I had advocated that from a very long time. But there are other alternative websites as well, so which are pretty good, right? So not bad at all, like something new you can find them, right? So if you feel like you need a vibe change and vibe of solve it, so go solve each of them. But the more you solve, see, it should be your habit, like daily at least one paper you need to solve, 1 to 2 papers. So if you do in that way, I think you'll be able to improve your problem solving abilities also and get better. Speed and accuracy are another important roles because you can go to Delhi in 6 hours also, 6 days also, 6 months also. So you need to figure out speed because going there is secondary. How fast you go there is also very much important, correct? So that comes with speed and practice, and then regular practice, and yeah, good aptitude skills are chances for better shortlisting because you're understanding the problem well. So any doubts with respect to aptitudes, any questions anybody has, can you please go ahead and let me know? Okay, so if there is no question, let's move ahead for the next part. So I'll tell you a little bit about workplace skills. What can you expect in companies? So since this I'll not be explaining it for a very long duration, I'll do this fast and go to the interprofessional communication part later. Okay, so I'll keep it quick here. So breathe through this and be quick with this. Yeah. So campus to corporate. So of course you're not in college anymore, so you can't behave like kids anymore, right? So you need to be better. So you need to understand. So it's self-discipline and accountability is what people look forward to the most, right? Everybody knows what self-discipline is. Accountability is taking ownership and being responsible for your actions. Suppose, for example, there are lights and fans which is off. Now your accountability is switching it off, not because somebody asked you to, but you taking up ownership for things and taking up leadership and going ahead and doing things, right? That should be your attitude. Accountability comes from that. That is, you are responsible for these things, right? So you don't wait for people to give you orders and your salary isn't based only upon what work they have given you. No, your basic accountability should be there, correct? So it builds workplace relationships and it changes everything, right? So it change, your deadlines are different, the way the work is structured is different, feedback, ownership, these are some of the things that people expect you to have. In college you'll get reminders about everything, second chances for everything, because you're a student, you're a learner, you're learning. But don't expect that to happen in work, because there they won't. If you don't follow the etiquette, if you don't follow work culture, you are replaceable within a snap. Understand that. Okay, so you need to be accountable, and you need to pay attention to what people expect from you. Correct. Saying that, right, so then versus now the mindset should shift, right? There are big changes. Okay, so what you're supposed to do, right? So I'll tell you about it. Okay, so just understand. So if you think clearing interview is something that uh, is your final resort and that is your ultimate goal, understand the test that starts after interview, after joining. If you think there are no tests or nobody will check, there will be done. No, your test and assessments and real interviews will start there, because in the first 60 days of your work, it's like a trial period, it's a probation period. Okay, induction time or a probation time, what they call you. Here they check how you perform. If you perform well, they will hire you or they will keep you. If you don't, that is when they will say, this was a round, we would like to respectfully not continue with you, so we would wish you lucks, and say like, they'll say like this and do send you off. So what is something that you need to you need to understand well, you need to understand core uh, minimum basics and etiquette that you guys need to follow. You need to understand what your role is. Key KPI are nothing but key performance indicators, right? So this is maybe about data accuracy, insights about the company, timely communication. These are all some key performance indicators that will that should be followed by everyone. Expectations, and you need to build your credibility in a very early stage, right? You need to start getting good impression from others, build a rapport, build communication, talk to them in a very early stage. You need to get. But if you try to build it late, thinking I'll do it later, I'll think about it, or if you think of perfecting and not communicating, gone there. So understand that one, and how to build your credibility early. You should build it, right? So learn a way to build a good connect. Next one, common pitfalls are the new joiners face, right? So what are some of those common pitfalls, right? So it is believing that asking too many questions will make you sound dumb or look weak. That is why many people are not even interacting properly. There are 100 people, 100 people, each of you should be asking questions, sir, what is this, what is that? And you need to communicate very effectively. But most of you guys think, oh, if I ask question, what would others think of me? Oh, they might think I'm dumb, they might think I don't. No, that is a bad. People who ask more questions are the people who understand things better, right? So they are the best communicators, so avoid that one. And then being too passive or too aggressive, when you are too let us say um, aggressive, only tell your point of view, don't listen to others, that is aggressive behavior. But passive is where you know you would feel okay, it's okay, adjusting for everything, saying yes for everything. So that is passive. You can't be both, or you can't be extremes of these. But there is a fine line between these two attitudes, that is passiveness and aggressiveness, which is called assertive, where you are confident enough to know that you are important to, humble enough to know that there are, you can be replaceable to. So that is assertive. So you need to maintain that attitude, and you should listen to everybody. You should communicate your views also. You should not be a pushover. So make sure you're in that stage. Not observing office culture before expressing opinions. So that also can be a reason, right? So when you do not appreciate office culture, or you do not without seeing that, you express things without knowing what it might cause. So be careful of that. Don't over promise and under deliver. Always under promise and over deliver. Say 10% but deliver 20%. But if you tell 10%, if you're not even giving 9%, that is where you will get bad impression. So keep early. Managing the first Take feedback positively, first thing, for yourself and for the manager. Give realistic deadlines. Just to impress somebody or just to tell something that you can do it, don't take things beyond your control. Know yourself very well. Ask right questions. Okay. And the feedback loop, okay, this is a different thing. Okay. So now see scenarios, missed deadline, right? So manager tells this is the second time the task was submitted a day late. Let's talk about what's happening, right? So now missed deadline, this might happen, manager might say this, right? So there is a feedback loop. Okay, you need to practice in giving, receiving feedback, right? So there are different ways to answer this. Okay, so different situations like this. So I wanted to make you guys play and talk and discuss these things, right? But rather I'll give you guys this as a homework. Okay, so I'll give you guys situations like this. I want you all to prepare for this on your own and see what should or could be the best option. Okay, so I will add that in the chat, and please use this in your AI engines or in your internet, and try to find out the best responses after you give your own for reference. Since we're running short on time, I wanted to do this in person, but let us use the time for something more important, because these things you'll still be able to do it with general knowledge and with right ideas and input, right? But uh, try to explore these things in your free time when you do this. I'll add all these scenarios here in your chat. So go ahead and see what was the best way to approach. First you think of your own approach and just check what should be the other approach the other way around. Okay, now apart from that, basics of workplace etiquette, professional grooming and dressing. You need to be dressing up professionally, you need to groom yourself well, right? So respect other people's workspace and time boundaries, right? And then verbal and non-verbal behavior, understand it is not just what you talk, it's about how you react. You might say okay, but your expressions or your attitude or your eye contact or your tone of speech, those things matter more than your words, because people observe you. When you not talk or talk, you think it is just the words that matter, right? But people will be observing your body language. When do you say no? When do you be happy? When do you scream? When do you say things in a calm way? People will be very much observing all those things. Be prepared for that thing. Okay, then, right? So what would you again, so there are a few more scenarios that I'll give you, right? So since we are okay, you know what, we will just try to solve one or two, or do you guys want to solve one or two? Just what would you do in that situation karke? So new joiner doesn't greet anyone, heads straight to desk and avoids eye contact. Okay, so what would you do in this situation? Okay, we'll take the scenario 9. A new joiner in your work company doesn't greet anyone, heads straight to desk, avoids eye contact with people. So in this situation, what would you do? You're already in work, but some other new joiner comes, he does this. What would you as a current employee do that? Anybody try to guess it or answer it? Yes, anybody? What is 10? I asked 9 scenario, what would you do? The question is being reflected in this slide. So not greeting colleagues, what would you do in the situation? I need your actual response. Can anybody unmute and tell instead of typing? I hate these awkward silences. This is like, wasting too much time. I don't want to waste time. We have less time. Can somebody unmute and tell me what would you do in the 9th scenario? Okay. So Aishwarya is here in the call. Aishwarya, are you present here in the call? Or Karan Singh Solanki, are you present here in the call? So can you tell me what would you do in the situation? Scenario 9. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer. Yes, can you answer? Am I even audible? Why isn't anybody answering? Karan Singh is absent and Aishwarya is absent. So should I put that? Both of you are absent, is it? So fine, you both are absent only then. What about others? What would you guys do in the situation? You would go communicate, you would go and say. So if you don't know, at least let me know, right? Why are you guys staying silent? How will I understand? So pay some attention, guys. So yeah, what would you do in this situation? You would just go to that person, politely tell them, hey, how is everything going on? How are you feeling? So you respect them and you acknowledge their presence, say hi to them, right? And just make them, sometimes people might, be shy. You need to make a point to, say, welcome. So I know it, you might, find it difficult, but I would like to say hi and be your friend and let me know if you need any help. That's what you do, right? So politely telling them to greet colleagues instead of heading straight to their desk. You cannot tell them directly, right? So they might not take it well because they might think it as an order, right? Smile so that they start greeting. Shabina is also right here, right? So you cannot directly tell them do this, do that, but you can tell them, you can always smile, say hi, and tell them indirectly, right? That's something, right? There are a lot of examples like this. Do explore, right? So what are some of the challenges that you may face, right? Information overload and unclear expectations. So when there is too much information, and at that time you might feel right, but later you might forget. So always try to make sure that you note down few things or ask and communicate so that it is not very difficult, right? Yes, Om, do you have any questions? Okay, making mistakes and how to respond. Okay, so you will make mistakes as a new joinee. Making mistakes is the part of the job. The response matters more than the error. What would you do in the response? First, you need to own your mistake, fix it, and communicate clearly. Something like, hey, I realized I shared the wrong document. I've corrected it here, and here's the updated file. That's how you have to do, but you don't do it by avoiding it. Okay, finding your voice in meetings and team spaces, right? So it is hard to speak up early on, but try to at least ask one question or offer support. Okay, so don't fake confidence, ask when you're in doubt. Don't stay silent. Okay, so make sure you ask something at least like, I'd love to learn more about how the approach is, so may I assist, something like that. You guys need to talk. Okay, adjusting to different personalities and work style. Not everyone will be friendly, or sometimes not everyone will be bad also, but they will be helpful regarding what they do, because that is everybody's intention. Okay, so learn from your manager, okay, that they prefer communication, they want details, so make sure you are ready to help anybody at that point. Okay, so principles: take ownership, not just action, right? So you're not just working towards an actionable solution, but you're also working about giving you know trust that yes, you can take this up, right? And communicate early, politely and clearly. Don't wait what to communicate, and don't waste time. Just like this, taking accountability, taking ownership is important. Whoever is answering, so they take up ownership, they take up accountability. They know it is important to communicate and talk. That's why they do. Not because I'm asking, that's why they're doing it, right? But people are still doing doing that, waiting for my you know response, but they're not being very proactive, correct? So that these are the kind of people who will not perform very well at work, because they wait for something, they wait for the right time, or they always doubt themselves. So these people can work, but excelling, the people who take up ownership, only they are going to do well. Now think about the impact, right? So make sure every decision that you make, right, every think that you make, right, has consequences. So consider team's workload, your manager's time, client's expectations, and then base your decisions upon that, right? And use workplace etiquette as your guide. So if you're not sure about something, is this respectful, is this the right time and tone, ask that, right? Because professional behavior builds trust faster than talent. Okay, so um, yeah. So now we will try to talk about this activity, the new joiner challenge. So we'll play a small activity in this. Okay, I want everybody to pay attention. Okay, so scenario. I'll give you a scenario. Okay, so everybody is ready. We'll play a small activity. So if you're ready, and if you're ready for an activity, I'll give you guys a case, a scenario. What would you do in this point of time? You guys need to, tell me. Okay. So so listen to me carefully, because I'll not write it and it is not there in the slide. So that's why I will tell and dictate. So listen to me. Okay. You are 2 weeks into your new job. Okay. You joined and it's been 2 weeks since the work started. You made a calculation error in a report. Okay, so in some report will be there is some calculation error. Okay, so that has already been sent to the client. Now for the client, the mistake, the calculation mistake that has been there, and there was some error, client has already received it. Your manager seems stressed. Your manager is stressed because it is already gone, and your team is swamped with lot of work. Swamped with work means everybody is having work, everybody is busy. Your manager seems stressed because the error has gone to a client, and your team is also full busy. What would you do in this situation? Everybody understood, or do you want me to repeat the scenario? Everybody understood? If you understood the situation, can you guys give a thumbs up? Okay. So I'll give you three responses, or um, yeah, I'll give you three responses. You guys need to choose which response and tell me which response is better. And not choosing is not enough, but why it is a good response is also important. Okay, so I'll give you one option A. Okay, immediately acknowledge the mistake, explain it clearly, and offer a solution. This is option one. Okay, option two: wait until your manager seems calmer then inform them later in the day, right? That is option 2. Now, option 3, ignore it and hope nobody notices. It was a small error anyway. Okay, these are the three options. So, what would you choose in this three options? Option 1, 2, and 3, and which one, is the best here? Why? So, can you guys tell me which option is better? Option 1 is better. Maram Ravali says. Rutvin also says one. Karan Singh also says one. Okay. Anybody says option 2? Meet says option 2. What about others? Wait until your manager seems calmer, then inform them later in the day. Everybody goes with option 1. Yes, option 1. You cannot wait for manager to be calm. That means you're delaying the issue, delaying the situation, so that you're waiting for somebody to, so a lot of time is escalated. By the time, client will be unhappy. So obviously option 3 is the best one. Correct? Okay. So things like this. Okay. Yeah, 100%. So politeness is not the only thing. Option 1, because you are a quick thinker and you act quickly, not because you want to show that you're polite, but you are thinking in the terms of work, and you want the, before a customer sees, you need to quick the, fasten the solution process. You do it because of that, not just because it is polite. You do it because it is necessary. Okay. So yeah, what makes a great team? Communication, trust and support, shared goals and diverse strength, right? So everybody knows that. And there is one activity that we can play. It's called scavenger hunt. Okay. Yeah, so we'll play an activity called scavenger hunt. So it is just a fun activity. So we'll play a small activity, try to get some presence of mind and quick thinking and action. Okay. So I will ask 5 questions. Okay. So let us see who will be able to answer the most. I will be taking first 3 winners. I'll be asking first 5 questions. Okay, that is the first round. There are 3-4 rounds. Okay, 3-4 rounds of this activity. So first thing is, I will give the first 5 questions. Who will answer the fastest? The first 3 people, okay, they will be the top 3 winners of this activity. Okay, so let us see who would be able to do this faster, right? So let us see. I'll be asking you the questions right now. Yes, anybody is saying something? Please mute yourself if you're not saying anything. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll give you guys a situation, a question, right? So now let us try to figure out and understand what is the best way to go for this uh you know activity. Just a second, my laptop is hanging. That's why there is a little bit slow or a lag. Just a second. Do you want me to give 5 questions at once, or do you want me to, give one question at once? So I want the fastest fingers, okay? First, let us see who would answer the first, thing. You need to, describe it well, at least with 2 to 3 sentences. One question at once, okay? Fine. All right. The first question is one thing. So let us see who will describe it fastest. When I say fastest, I don't want one word answer or two-word answer saying this. You need to describe that. Okay. The question is, describe a moment someone showed great listening skills. Okay. When you, I'll just change it. Describe a moment when you showed great listening skills. So I will pick the top 3 answers for this. So I'll give you just 1 minute time, right? So nothing more than that. So if you're answering within 1 moment, 1 minute, it is well and good. Okay, now it's 6:16. By 6:17, let's see who will answer. Okay. So you guys can unmute and let me know also. You can raise your hands like this. So I'll give you a chance. You can unmute and tell. Who tells the first also in an effective way, they also can be considered as winners. Describe a moment when you showed great listening skills. So you can raise your hand like this and also share. Okay, time is up. So can you guys share your answers quickly? I think it's already more than a minute. I think Rutvini and Samuel have given the responses. I think, okay, I got the 3 responses. Okay, I think these are the top 3 people. So if you guys are giving answers, you can give, but these are the winners. When I ought to any sport, I will carefully listen the captain's strategies and advices so where we can win in any sort of tough situation. That is good, Rutvin. Okay. So listening skills help me to understand other people's thoughts more clearly and helps to understand their point regarding the topic. Okay, that is also not a bad answer. When I join my college, there is an induction program where HOD of civil department explain the work on his patent of the topic geospatial stress, which is uh, was implemented practically by central government, and his meeting with Nitin Gadkari. So you listened that carefully is what you said. Okay. And during a group project, I noticed a teammate struggling. I took time to listen without interruption, asking clarifying question to fully understand their situation. I think all of these answers are well crafted, well written. Okay, so that's good. So let me try to ask, couple of more, questions. Okay, so, let me ask the second question. Tell us, okay, share a tie a teammate handled a tough situation with kindness. This teammate can be you also, or somebody from your team also, or anybody from your class also. Here the question is what you learned. That is the main priority. Okay, here it is not to show whether you were kind or not, but at least it could be you also. Okay, so which was a moment of time where you know somebody handled a tough situation with kindness? So can you guys give an example for that one? Let me know if you have anything to share. Okay, let us see the top three responses. Okay, one person answered. One time in a group project, one of my teammates made a mistake and got nervous. Instead of blaming another teammate, you spoke kindly and helped fix the issue, encouraged them. It made everyone feel comfortable and we completed the work successfully. Good. This is also a good situation. Hope this is not a chat GPT copied response. If it wasn't, I think it's great. I handled a tough situation when a teammate was overwhelmed during a project deadline. Performance was affected. Okay, everybody will say the same thing. Project to deadline, the same thing. It's very predictable. I supported them by staying calm and recognizing the work, and we learned the importance of teamwork and communication, managing pressure effectively. Guys, don't give responses from AI engines. Let it be imperfect. Let it be honest. That is more better. In real life conversation and in work, you cannot use GPT. We had divided our work among all the teammates, but I was stuck with some of the work. So one of my teammates did mine work also, even if she was already exhausted. So that is good, Vrinda. This seems very honest. There was a match interclass tournament and our teammate clashed against each other. The situation was so heated up. My friend joined the matter and handled with kindness and polite. It taught me not everything can be solved via rudeness or violent talks. Good meat. That also sounds authentic. Very nice. Very nicely answered. Nice. So this was nice. So now I'll give a complete different challenge, complete out of topic. Okay. So um, now I would want it to be more challenging. Final one. Okay. Uh, yeah. So this is the final challenge for everybody. So this is a little fun. So now what you should do is I'll give you 5 things to get. Okay, you need to send a picture of those things. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you need to tell what is what. Okay, object. Okay, I'll tell you. You guys need to get 5 object and in and around you. Okay, that is the this is the final challenge of the scavenger hunt. Okay, so you need to bring and represent things or send an image of the things that will reminds you of a certain something. The first thing I'll just write it in the text and I'll add it to you. Okay. Okay. So there are five things I want you all to get. Okay. What are those five things? I mentioned it here in the chat. Okay. You need to send a picture of those things from your room. Wherever you are, whether you are in a PG or whether you're in a home or whether you are outside attending, right? So this is just a treasure hunt or a scavenger hunt where who are the first three people among 100 people who will take out things. Okay, five objects, picture of five objects in an order. Okay, one object that reminds of something calm, one object that reminds of practicality, third object that reminds them of school, fourth object that reminds them of punctuality and good morals, punctuality or good morals, right? Fifth one, object that is a gray in color. I want a picture of five of these objects, and I want you all to add it here in the chat. And the first person to add five pictures, I mean these objects, pictures of these five objects, they are the first winners, second winners, and third winners of this activity. Right? So this one is a little different. It's I'm not asking you to add text or some Google images or something. So who would be able to get five objects and their photos here in the chat? They are the winners. Okay. Object that reminds them of calmness, one object that reminds them of practicality, one object that reminds them of school, one object that reminds you of punctuality or good morals, one object that is gray in color, totally unrelated. Okay, so let us see who will be the first five people to get this. Let us see. You can actually turn on the camera also and show. Just raise your hand so that I will get to know. So we have less time, so I'm expecting you all to be a little more quicker. So could you guys do that? Still nobody has got it. Let's see who's got the maximum things. So last 1 minute time for you all. Be quick. Don't think too much. Let's see who's going to get it. At least 4 out of 5 objects needs to be done. If you get 5 out of 5, you're first winner. If you get 4 out of 5, you're second. If you get 3 out of 5, at least you're the third winner. But you need to do it within a specific time frame. You shouldn't take too much time. Let us see who will be able to do that quickly, the fastest. Okay. Another 1 more minute time for everybody. Be quick, everybody. Let's see who will get it fastest. Yes, anybody? At least 3. Okay, Lavanya got 1. I think she's sending more. Anjali, you shouldn't text. I need the answer in picture format. Lavanya has shared 1 photo. Okay, Lavanya, second is reminds me of school textbook machine learning. Okay, fine, I'll take that. What about others? Other options? Okay, Samuel Samson mentioned this reminds me of calmness when I'm stressed. So while sketching, I feel happy, and the character that you made, good. Character looks very sharp. That is nice. What about others? Okay, object that is gray in color, good. Somebody got it. Okay, Meet got everything, I guess, here. One object that reminds him of school, probably it's the pen, I guess, maybe. Pen reminds me of practicality to turn the, you know, thoughts into reality. That's amazing. Mouse, I can play games via mouse. It gives me calmness. That's nice. Journal reminds me of, yeah, reminds me of good morals and beliefs. That's nice. Metal dice, that is gray in color. So ID and everything. Oh, very nice. I think Meet got all of them at once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very nice, very nice. I think Meet should be the winner. He gave everything at once. So he's the first winner. And the others, who I asked, I think Lavanya should be the second winner because she has given about 3 images, so which is nice. And I would give Samuel the third winner because he just showed his beautiful sketch and his hobby. So I think he should be the third winner this way. So amazing job, guys. So thank you so much for participating on the scavenger hunt. Great. So now let us, come back to the interview skills part and what you can expect in an interview questions. Okay. So I'll briefly walk you quickly through, all the questions that you can expect. And let's go ahead and start, seeing those slides as well. Okay. So yes, so why self-introduction? Why is it important? Everybody knows, right? Builds a great first impressions, builds confidence, supports personal branding, prepares you for academic and career opportunities, facilitates network and relationship building, right? Enhances communication skills like that. So self-introduction, right? So what now everybody thinks, okay, one thing, okay, I want everybody to pay attention. If everybody is paying attention and listening to the most important part of the session, just give a thumbs up because I'll be telling important things from now on. I want you to make a point of it, note it down, and make sure that you guys are ready. Yeah. So when you're giving self introduction, just know that, see, in your mind, you cannot just practice what you have to speak if you have not practiced it out loud. See, in your mind, you'll be able to know what to tell, but there is a something called as how to tell. That comes only with practice. Because in your mind, if you thought, okay, I'll say this, I'll say that, but as soon as you go there, you might get blank, or you might feel unconfident. So what would you do in this situation? So if you ever feel that, that is because you have not practiced it, and you've not, and also because you let your self doubts come in your mind, that should I tell it this way, should I tell it that, am I doing it right? So while you're preparing, it is important for you to feel calm. Okay, firstly, do not feel nervous. Okay, just breathe through everything. Every time you feel like you're overwhelmed with things, just understand you need to calm yourself down. I'm not telling just calming yourself down will give you the answer, no, but at least when you're calm, you'll know how to think better, how to think proper. Correct. So first thing is that, and then remember the order to answer the introduction. To order the introduction order, just tell these things. Okay. First thing is name and academic background, that everybody knows. Greeting, name and academic background. Second thing is your key technical skills. Third, project or internship, certificates or competitions, career goals, aspirations, your personal traits and hobbies, and closing statements. Right now, everybody knows this, but remember, for resume, I gave you all IPCS format that you need to tell. You guys remember the IPCS format? If you guys remember the IPCS format, give me a thumbs up. What is IPCS format? Can anybody tell me in the chat? What is IPCS format? Somebody tell me in the chat. Let's see if you guys remember what I told in the last class. What is IPCS format? Internship, project, certificate, and skills. See, Vrinda remembers, Shabina remembers. Good. That is the format that you guys need to, tell. Okay. So, in order for you to remember what to tell in the introduction, okay, so just remember these formats. Okay, I added here in the chat. So first greet them, tell hello, hi, or good evening, or good morning whenever you're taking the interview at that time. Then a technical background, like your educational background and what course you're studying. So technical background for that. Third thing is IPCS, your where you did your internship, what was your role and responsibility, what you did there in internship, project work, what was your role in the project work, what is the name of the project, and also what problem did your project solve, that one. And in certifications, what was the name of your certification, what was the level of your certification. Take your time, you'll not be in urgent, and do not be in a hurry to answer the question. Answer it in a calm and a slow way, but a loud way. That is very much important. And after that, your certifications, and after that, your skills. Certifications, tell what level of certifications, where you did your certification, and what did you learn in the certification, and your skills, obviously. So if you tell these many things in the format, and then tell your what are your hobbies, what do you do in your free time, and a closing statement is important. So when you feel like you need to close the statement, tell, so these are something about my skills, or say something like, thank you for asking, this is my academic qualifications, this is a self introduction about me. So something like this if you say, and you should end it with that confident and that positive tone. Okay, so remember that everybody understands the format. Give a thumbs up for this particular format that I gave in the chat, so that you remember this fast. Okay, so understand that one. Just a second, I think somebody's at the door. One moment. Sorry, I had to answer somebody at the door. But yeah, so this is an introduction thing. So everybody understood that, right? So everybody knows it. So that's fine. Okay. Elevator pitch is nothing but telling something about you or your work or yourself in a very short amount of time. People use this in lifts. People use this, to tells anybody in a short span of time. If they want to tell something about them, they tell who they are, mention the focus area of the skill, key achievement in their project. That is the third thing. And fourth, mention your career goal and what you're looking forward with them. So if you tell this much, you'll be able to make a small interaction. So if everybody understood what an elevator pitch is, give a thumbs up. This is something that you tell about yourself or your work to somebody, right? So when there is less amount of time. Okay, so that is just elevator pitch. It's not something that you give inside an elevator per se, but this is something that you tell in a short span of time about yourself or about your work to somebody. Okay, so that is something. Okay, so now let's walk through with the email. So can you guys tell me what is wrong with this mail? What can you guys give me feedback about this mail? Okay, it is not organized well. That is good thing. What about the other mistake? Okay, subject is very bad. Correct. Subject is using short forms. Correct. That is also one of the reasons. Okay. What about any other answer? Okay. Vocabulary is not right. That is also correct. Fluency. Okay. Fluency is something that is respected with respect to voice, but yeah. Okay, waiting for fast reply is something wrong. That is correct. Yeah. So yeah, so many of you are getting it right. So any other things? It doesn't show respect to the one who's reading the mail. 100% correct. That is also there. See, yeah. So another thing is, hi sir. Like you use it in text, you cannot say hi sir, right? Hello at least is better, or respected ma'am, or greetings, right? Format of the mail is only wrong, of course, right? So you say nobody starts with myself, Ramesh. I am Ramesh, or my name is Ramesh, or this is Ramesh. This is better way to tell. Myself is such a reflexive pronoun. That is you. That is not something that you add in your initial conversation or when you're introducing yourself. Even when you're introducing yourself, do not start with myself. That is a wrong way because that is a conversation, something conversational you tell in third person perspective, right? So do not start with myself or something. Start with my name is or I am, right? So I am completed. A lot of grammar mistakes. You want job in your company, very vague, very disrespectful, right? So on internet you're hiring freshers. So very bad way to come. So the entire thing is wrong that way. Okay. Second one, what do you guys think? My name is Akash. I'm done with my graduation in BTech, IT, searching a new job, and your company is best. I want to join. Again, very bad, right? Very informal, very casual. This also. See, professional mail, you send it to reaching out to recruiters, you send it out for internships, for letter of recommendations, and for networking with industry professionals, right? So following up with interviews is very much important, right? So subject should be simple, right? So as you guys can see in the slide, it should be very simple, and it should be about position name and greeting. Okay, then greeting, okay, you use a formal salutation, right? Dear or Mr. or respectful, something like that, right? And a body, right? Get straight to the point. Do not beat around the bush. Keep it simple. Closing, say sincerely or something. Okay. What are some of the do's and don'ts? Use proper grammar and proper punctuation. Be concise. Get to the point. Respond to emails promptly. Always proofread your messages. Right. What you shouldn't do is don't use slang or emojis. Don't write everything in capital. In resume, if you're writing everything in capital, remember, if you're writing in capital means you're shouting. In textual form, if you're writing everything with capital letters, that means you're shouting or screaming. So don't write everything in capital, only the first letters in capital. Don't send angry or emotional messages, of course, and ignore recipient's name or title. So don't do that, right? See, this is very bad example of that. So yeah. So clear and concise communication builds professionalism, tone and language matters in interactions. So that's something about professional communication. Now I'll tell you, we'll come to the last part, that is LinkedIn and online presence. So let me try to, show something about LinkedIn. Okay. I'll try to, share my screen only so that, you guys understand this better. Okay, one second, just let me know if my screen is being visible. So I'll show you my LinkedIn so that you all can get a better idea of what to do in LinkedIn. Okay, so how to generate your own job, search, smart job search strategy, how to have a 10 on 10 LinkedIn. That is something that I'll be telling and showing. Okay, so now for example, I open my profile like this. Okay, so I open my profile, this is my LinkedIn profile. Okay, so just see what all should be there. Firstly, in the background, some image that tells about your work. Since I teach and train, so this classroom, so it's a different story. So use what is best describing to you. And your photo, your half of your body should be visible so that people get authentic idea about who you are, right? What you do. And then something about your role. When you don't have a, this is the headline of my job role, so that's why it comes there. Okay, but in case if you um, do not, like, let's say, have a job per se, what can you do? So understand, for the job role that you are applying for, you can add that here. So in case if any hirers or managers, they try to search you, try to search a role, let's say front end developer, and your profile has it, so your chances of getting selected in their algorithm is very likely. Okay, so that is something. And this is nothing but like a professional summary that you add in your resume. So let it be 3 to 4 lines, nothing more than that. Shorter the better, but too much short also don't want. So since I have kept it short, that doesn't mean that you should too, but make sure you have at least 3 to 4 lines there. Okay, and you can feature the post that you like. Okay, what to post anything with respect to your studies, your work. Now for example, you can post something about your own work. Let's say for example, for about soft skill training, you're posting something. Okay, so something like, let's say, yeah, so I'll show this one person. This is, I think, from a placement manager, not that one. I'll show a what a student has given. See, yeah, something like this. So he had attended an online class. So the course of few days, I attended a session by Akash. It was engaging, informative, focused on various skills essential for employability. So topics, among the topics covered, what he or found very grateful was the interview, and it was particularly valuable that way. So in that way, he has posted a screenshot of the sessions like this, right? So he has taken screenshots of this. He's made some online notes, some videos I showed screenshot of that also the person has taken, and he has added that in the chat this way, like this. So you can post this, right? You can post things like, let us say, about any other thing. Now for example, I will like open this post and I'll show his post for you. He's one of my student, right? So you can post anything that is related to your work way, this way, to get more yeah. So here he has about his featured posts, right? So he is happy to share some certifications, right? So he has made some of the blogs. You can use internet to find it. All you have to do is have few thoughts, ask ChatGPT to generate the right words for it, and use some good high quality images, photos, and find a way to do it regularly. But what is the best part about LinkedIn? I'll tell you. Even if you're trying to prepare for your placements or not, even if you're trying to work for your job or not, you can still generate career opportunities with the way you search jobs. Now many people just go to jobs and try to see everything one by one. Is it right, is it not? But most people don't know the use of search engine filters because they use it for shopping. They don't do that for LinkedIn. Right now I search jobs, I click on jobs here, I'll find everything about 300,000 plus job results. But is it something that I would want to apply for? Maybe not. So here I click on all filters. Now here when I click on all filters, here I should play around. The more customized, the more detailed I add in filters, the better people will be able to identify right opportunities for them, right? So since you guys are students, you need to apply for either internships or entry level jobs and no other, because these things require years of experience for you to have. But these two are some of the jobs that you can apply right away, right? So when I click that, see 300,000 became to 72,000. Which company? Certain people will have certain dream companies to work for. So people try to add their like Google or Wipro or Infosys. So you can search any of, you can select any of those. But if you don't have any particular preferences like that, try to keep it open. Job type, right? So you want internship, you don't want temporary jobs, you don't want part-time jobs, you want full-time jobs, and you want internships. So you still have about 68,000 job research results. So the kind of work that you want, you can, if you want to work from home, that is a remote option, you can click. Or if you want to work from office, you can click on that. Or if you want a combination of both, you can click on this. So each have their own numbers. Location, you can change whichever location, which industry you. So in this way, when you search and add and search, select all the filters, you will get a personally curated job search results where you can apply. And keeping all these entries, if you maintain in Excel which job you're applying, when, and how you're applying for all of these things, you would be able to get a much better response of applying for jobs, much better job opportunities you'll get this way. So that's the best part. And you can do the same thing for people also. If you want to network and if you want to grow well, right, you can search people and add the same filters so that you can increase your connections. When you have more common with other people regarding your studies or course, they'll be able to accept your so result, what do you call, request also better. So that is something that everybody needs to keep in mind. Okay, so now I would like to see if you guys have any doubts with respect to, I have last 5 minutes to spare. Okay, so just let me know if you guys have any questions with respect to interviews. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions. So if you have any questions, let's say with respect to why should we hire you, or with respect to strengths and weaknesses, right? Or what questions you can expect in an interview, right? So the first question is, of course, self-introduction, right? So the second question is, what do you call? The second question that they would ask you is, what do you know about our company? So when they ask you, what do you know about our company, right? So what you should do, you should check their LinkedIn, you should check their website for any company that you're going to interview for. You should check their LinkedIn, you should check their website to understand what is the product of the company or what is the service of the company. Okay, so that is something that you need to tell them without fail, right? That is something that they'll be expecting from you. Additional bonus info, you can say who is the CEO, how long the company is working for. So they basically, when they ask you this, they will check if you researched about our company, if you did your homework or not. That is something that they'll be asking. Third question is strengths and weaknesses. When they ask you this question, you need to tell your strongest suit of skill, whether it is technical or non-technical. If you're applying for technical jobs, like core jobs, mention your strongest technical skill first. right? And when they do ask you your strength, they mention why is it your strength also. Even if they don't tell, they'll ask you, right? So make sure you answer it in a appropriate way. For example, if you say your strength is public speaking, you need to tell why is it that your strength. My strength is public speaking because I've spoken in many public appearances as a host, or maybe as a public speaker, or I've spoken in my college assemblies, in my college fests. You can say that. Or if you say why is data science your strength, you can say I've been studying this course, I opted this course in my college, and I've practiced very much on database management systems. I've taken certifications, I've done this. So you need to explain why it is your strength. Now, somebody asked me, so Maram Ravali asked, how to express weakness in a positive way. Now, this is a good thing. Now, the best way to express your weakness in a positive way is to understand what all weakness you need to say. You need to, draw a line between being over honest and at the same time being inauthentic. Okay. Now, for example, let's say, you have good information on data science. You may not be the best in deep learning. Be honest about it. Tell them deep learning is something that I find challenging, but that doesn't mean that this has to be my weakness, because I have enrolled myself to a course where I'm learning more about deep learning, right? So I'm learning about this probably the next time when you meet. So this will no longer be my weakness. This is how you answer it in a positive way. So I've seen people giving answers saying things like, I'm bad at time management, I trust people easily, or I am not very good at maintaining deadlines. These are some of the questions that will land you in trouble, because these are the bare minimum things that company expects from you. When they ask you your weakness, they ask it in terms of skills. What skill are you weak at? But when you are answering weakness, they check your attitude towards your weakness. So when you are asked what is your weakness, just tell them what your weakness honestly is, and the what is the damage control, what is the repair plan, what is something that you're doing to make sure your weakness gets converted into strength. That is how you answer. What should we do if we don't know any answer in the interview and if we attend the interview unprepared? So firstly, Syed, I would say do not attend any interviews unprepared like that, right? So that means you're purposely asking this question, so that you're asking worst case scenario. I understand, but never attend any interviews without any preparation, right? So I have attended interviews and I've not even known, because I without before I knew the LinkedIn search activity where I go in detail and add search filters and get to know what company that I'm applying for, it is good. That person asked me, what do you know about our company? Tell me about my company. Now didn't know what to tell. I was like, your company is a very nice company. It is a very good company. It is a very famous company. He got to know that I did not prepare. So I was rejected. So you shouldn't, go for any interview unprepared. But if you do face any questions that say that goes over your head, or you don't know, how can you behave? Firstly, understand that you're a human. Humans make mistake. Okay. And not to worry, not to panic. Okay. Every time you freeze that, do not start to, think about what others would think, but rather be practical, be in a problem solving mode. Take a deep breath, stay calm. Okay, try to see if you can recollect anything. If you're not able to recollect, offer the best thing that you can give them. Right. So be honest about it. So this is a question that I'm finding it hard to answer because I am not aware of it. Right. Is there anything else that I can help or answer so that I can keep up to your expectations? Something like this. If you answer, you'll be able to do it. What is the best way to perform well in an interview where the company does not provide a JD? See, firstly, any interview, they should 100% mustn't give you the job description. Without job description, you cannot go for an interview. But in case, let us say college did not provide, or you did not have a job description, it will be a very difficult situation, my friend. So you cannot expect anybody to do that. They will definitely give you a job description. Okay. But if you're unclear about what the company or what the job description offers, you can be honest about it, telling that I was told this way, but I would love to give whole information to you, and what is something that you expect from a candidate, so that I make sure I provide you that. You can be upfront and you can ask this. Finally, last but not the least, there is one question: why should we hire you? Pay attention to this, because this is a kind of question that will, give you jobs. This is a turning point in the interview where you can prove yourself. So when you're asked, tell me, why should we hire you? Okay. So when they ask you why should we hire you, you should be very calm first thing. Do not be in a hurry to answer any question. Take a second, take 1 or 2 seconds after they tell. The moment you are doing that, that shows you are very hasty, very nervous. So don't be nervous or don't be in a hurry. So remember, when you asked, tell me about yourself, there are three things that you can that you need to tell. The format is, first thing is uh, telling your eligibility criteria. Second thing is something unique about you. Third thing is the final push. Right? There are three things. Can you guys repeat or make a note of what I'm trying to say? Please make a note. This is very important. First thing is your eligibility criteria, right? Why you're eligible for this job. Second thing is something unique about you. Third thing is um, the final push. So when you're asked why should we hire you? For example, you say, so firstly, this job requires a person who has completed. You basically, tell what are the job requirements, but in a way that you're very aware of what you're doing, right? So firstly, this job requires a person who has completed a bachelor degree. I happen to have done that with good results. Second thing, it requires a person to have so and so skills. I happen to have it. And third thing is, not only I have these skills, not only I have the educational qualifications, but I've done my major certifications in this, and I've spent enough time trying to figure out what is right, what is wrong, and what are some of the common challenges that one person can expect in this role. And I've been prepared myself very well, and given serious amount of time and consideration for this job. So in this way, I'm eligible for this job, but that's not the final way. So you should tell this much and go to the second part, that is something unique about you. But this is why I'm eligible for the job. But to tell something unique about me, I would say I'm a great problem solver, or you can say based on your unique skill set. Everybody has a unique skill set, right? One person, has a different personality. One person doesn't take no for an answer. One person has a very sportive mindset. He or she always has a habit of winning. The other person is a traveler. They're very curious explorers, right? The other person is a silent observer. The person who does great things with by themselves, or being silent and observe a lot of things. So there are a lot of unique characteristics of yourself that you can explore and tell why you are unique, which would make them like you. That tells something about your personality. And the third and the final thing is the final push. See, many people use only the final push to, answer this, but that is where they do not get selected. Final push only works if first and second part are answered. What is the final push? After telling why you're eligible and how much practice you've done and why you require this job, then you add, something unique about yourself. And third thing is the final push, that is reassuring your job, or reassuring and promising that why you feel amazing about this thing, right? So third thing, you need to tell that I'm not applying for this job out of weakness or necessity, but I'm applying for this job because I feel like I'm a good fit, and I feel my goals and the company's vision align well, right? So my dreams and company's vision and mission, they go hand in hand, and I feel together we can be a great team. And also because I've heard great things about your company, and I feel representing my skills in this would be a great deal. So for these following reasons, I would want you to hire me. So if you say something like this after mentioning why you're eligible, what is your unique characteristics, and give this final push later, I think you will have a great chance to be selected in the interview. Okay. So I think that's about it. I hope I answered all of your questions, and I hope these 3 days of facts-filled, informative training has helped you in one way or the other, right? And I would like to thank each and every student present today for being very interactive, for being very cooperative, and for spending your time to do something great and productive instead of wasting time. And you guys had such interactive way of submitting your opinions, and the way you guys participated in any every activity and banter, right, made the session even better, right? So I would just like to ask if you guys have any other questions, or how did you find your how did you find these sessions, right? So that it would be great, right? So it'd be your chance to tell if you have any questions for me, right? So do you have any questions for me? You can please raise your hands. I have last 1 or 2 minutes left. You can raise your hands. I can just tell you so that you can answer, whatever. So you can ask question about whatever concern you have, and I'll go ahead and answer. Can you guys raise your hands like this so that I can, give you the opportunity to ask any question? So you guys have any questions like that? Yes, Shriyusha Poloju, do you have any question?
No, sir, no.
Okay. So anybody has any questions? Okay. So no questions. Everybody understood what we were discussing? Give a good thumbs up if you guys understood everything and you guys have no questions. That is great. So if you guys have had fun, please give a thumbs up. Yes, Shabina, do you
Yeah,
have any questions? Okay. So great. So I feel like you guys don't have any questions. I'm very glad you guys had such a great time. I did myself. So having said that, I'd like to thank Danish for organizing and coordinating this event. So without you, it would have been very difficult. So I thank you very much, Danish, and I'll hand over it to you. And thank you so much,
yeah,
everybody.
thank you so much, Akars. And I think all the students have a very good time with you. And I hope that each one of them have learned something new out of these three sessions that we have.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much for being so patient with the students and also, interacting and answering all the questions that they have. For this one, I would like to address the students that I will be circulating a Google form right now. So you can mark your attendance by submitting this Google form. And this is just a feedback that we wanted from you for the last three session. It will help us understand how you find these sessions helping. And like for the upcoming sessions, we will be having another one in Learning Block 3. So we wanted to understand your point of view on how you would like us to tailor the sessions and all those things. How, like, was this session enough for you? Was this relevant and all those things? So feel free to give a review that's completely honest, and this will help us tailor the future upcoming sessions that we are having. And once you submit it, this will mark as an attendance, as I have already mentioned in the group. And once again, thank you so much, Akash. And yeah, if anyone have any further questions, you can please ask right now.